You know, growing up, everything that we've ever dreamed of, anything that we ever wanted to do, we had the ability to do it if we put our mind to it. It seems as though as we get older, our imagination starts to go away and we start to limit the ideas and beliefs that we have as to what we can get done and what we can accomplish. It's almost like we start to forget that we have, an imagination or we've ever dreamed big. And I feel like a lot of times the reason why is because when we're going through the day-to-day motions, we're going through, everything that we have to go through in order to get things done, like pay our bills, take care of your kids, make sure your family's good, make sure there's food in the fridge. There's a lot of priorities and things that come up as you become an adult and as you get older and, live life. And it's like you start to lose your purpose. You start to figure out that, a lot of the things that you're spending your time on might not be as valuable as you thought they were. So then you start to limit the other things that you're doing. You might not spend as much time going out and, doing that hobby that you used to do. Remember that thing you used to do when you were younger that you were really passionate about, and then all of a sudden you just stopped doing it? Well, it's like, we got to get back to that. You got to get back to, in a way, just kind of going back and doing the things for yourself right now, for the person that you imagined yourself to be. You can't give up on that version of yourself that you always dreamed yourself to be. You have to keep fighting for that, no matter what. So it might take you, going back into the archives a little bit and winding back as to thinking, what was the main reason why I started in the first place? What was the reason why I even got into what I'm doing right now? Was it because I had a necessity? Am I using what I'm going through right now as a tool, or am I victimizing myself? Right? Like, everything that's happening in your life is happening for you and not to you. The moment that you decide that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, an ability for you to learn from that, an ability for you to grab from whatever you're going through and just be able to take away the value from what you're learning, the lesson that you get. I always say there's no L's in life, really. There's only lessons. We're only learning, right? We never really lose anything when we're gaining value from the things that we've been through. We can always avoid going through certain things by finding mentorship, finding somebody else and seeking expert counsel so we can have the ability to expedite our success by avoiding the problems, concerns, and issues that people that have already been through it have went through. Why go through something that someone else has been through when they can teach you how to get right through it, right? It's kind of like, doesn't really make much sense, So it all comes back to finding your purpose. As a young man in this world, it's like so many distractions out there. We got our cell phones, we got everything right here. It's tough to balance everything out and really get a full focal point on what it is we should be focusing on. So what is the focus? What is it that we're supposed to be focusing on? How are we supposed to take ourselves from where we are right now and get ourselves to the next level? Well, it's by zoning in and making the priorities. You have to put first things first and make sure you're taking care of the things that need taken care of. This means you might need to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. You might have to plan out your day. You might have to plan out your week. These are mights that I'm saying are really, you need to do these things in order for you to find a rhythm and become successful. Not everything's always got to be scheduled and every single day the same things every single day. It's just doing the work that you're putting off right now, that you're avoiding. That work that you're avoiding is exact work that you need to do right now to get you to the next step. We all are guilty of this. We are all guilty of this. I do it all the time. You do it all the time. We all do this. This is something that we do as human beings. So knowing and identifying those things that we're avoiding to do is the first step. What is it that we know we need to do that we're not doing right now? Now that we've identified that, let's go ahead and tackle that first thing in the morning. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of first thing, because if we can get the battle won first thing in the morning, there's nothing else that can happen throughout the rest of our day that's going to stop us from being able to get through the rest of the day. Like, there might be other obstacles, but they're not going to feel as heavy because we got everything else done. We got that first thing first done, right? So, you know, it's prioritizing the things that are going to get us to that next level of success. You know, you got to think about, what are the revenue generating activities? What are the value bringing activities that I got to do right now that are going to help me later on? And that might be later on in the day. That might be later on in the year, maybe in the week, maybe in the month, you know, maybe that hour. But just make sure you're thinking about your future self. Kind of reminds me of a quote. It goes like, do for yourself now that you'll thank yourself for later, right? So what are you doing for yourself today that you can thank yourself for, you know, 10, 20 years from now or a year from now? You know, people think, oh man, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. You know, the best time to get something done probably would have been yesterday, but the next best time is today. So what are we doing with what we have today? How are we taking what we're going through today and using it to fuel us? And, you know, it's all about the mentality that we have in order to be successful. You know, what is your mentality? What are you focusing on? What are you putting all your time, effort, and energy into? And what are you doing right now that you're going to thank yourself for later? I wanted to ask you guys a question. You know, what makes you the best version of yourself? How do you find the best version of yourself? Well, you got to know yourself. In order to know yourself, you got to start putting yourself in different situations and experiment and experience life. In order for you to find out who you truly are, you have to experience life. And by experiencing life and going through failure, that's how you're going to be able to get to the next level a lot faster and expedite your success. And it might not happen in 10 years. It might not happen in 20 years, right? It might take you 20 years to become an overnight success. But the main thing is that you're developing yourself every day, because what people forget in life, it's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, right? So we're running continuously. We're running continuously. And it's important that we realize we are our worst enemy. Comparison is a thief of joy in some ways, because you can compare yourself to top bosses, and you're like, man, I want to have that. I want that, right? And you can say, man, I'm not doing enough. Like, that should motivate you, right? Or you can compare yourself to somebody in a lesser situation. You should be more grateful for what you have, right? But the reality is that you're on your journey. No one else is on the journey you're on. The journey that you're on right now is the path that you chose, and it's your life. No one else is going to live it. No one else is going to breathe it. It's only you, right? So at the end of the day, this is your journey, and it's not always about the finish line, but it's more about who you become while you're taking the journey, while you're on the marathon, while you're running towards your success, towards your goals, towards your beliefs, whatever that is for you. That's the main focal point. That's the main factor. You know, that's what's going to really separate you from those that, you know, you're around. If you really decide that it's you versus you every single day, you're just trying to become a better version of who you are. You're not here to impress anybody. You're not here to do for, you know, you're not here to be broke trying to impress other people, or, you know, doing things out of character that you wouldn't normally do just to get the approval of others, right? Your validation comes from doing the things that you say you're going to do to yourself. You know, the things that you say to yourself, you do those things every single day. And you find ways to get better at that. And you analyze and you dissect what it is that you're doing and the results that you're getting. And based on those results, you build and grow from that. You know, you have to have a results-based mindset too. And you got to learn to take the emotion out of things sometimes. You know, somebody might be upset that it's taken them so long to get where they're at, while somebody else, it seems as though they only needed a few months or a couple years to get what, you know, you're trying to accomplish. But that's what I'm saying. You know, you don't know what they've already been through to get to that point, or who they might know, or who's connected, or what's involved. You don't know their situation. You know, so you might be quick to judge or say, yeah, man, I wish that was me, or I wish this was my situation. but you don't know what it took for them to get there. You don't know what they've been through, right? Just like they don't know what you've been through. So it's easy to judge, and guess what other people have been through, and, say, oh man, they might have did the X, Y, and Z to get that money, or, who knows, they blew their money by doing this, right? So we can't really judge. The reality is you got to look at yourself and understand it's not about anyone else other than you. Developing and self-improvement will help you in the long run. And when you look at the long run as your life, you'll realize that you have many years to develop yourself. But you also have to kind of go into life with this mindset, knowing that it could all be over tomorrow too. Not enough people have a scarcity mindset when it comes to the time that they have available in their life. You got to realize that at some point you are going to die. And when this time comes, it's important that when we do die, we leave this earth with no regrets. We leave this earth with not leaving anything on the field, in a sense of where we're going all in. We're going as hard as we possibly can to be who we need to be, and we're living our lives gratefully. We're living our lives gracefully with passion, and we're happy, and we're happy in a way where we're fulfilled. Not in the sense of joy or, even showing those emotions or expressions, but we feel fulfilled every day where we can go to bed knowing that we gave something our all. I feel as though, when you hear stories about older people and their last wishes and what they wish they would have did, it's always, I wish I would have did more, spent more time with family, or I wish I would have been, I would have did more experiences and lived more a little bit. I wish my life wasn't always working. And people say all these things, but that's because you're asking them what their regrets are, right? And a lot of the times when it's not spending enough time with family or doing things like that, or not going all in on your dreams, or asking the question to someone, or whatever the case may be, whatever that regret is, I feel a lot of that really comes from not being present in the moment. When people say things like that, they remember moments that they weren't present. Practice being more present in your day-to-day life. You got to look at the things that are going on around you. Put your phone away. Too many people are scrolling all day long. We live on these things. We live on our phones. And that's okay. A lot of money's made on the phone. A lot of things are done on the phone. We need our phones for a lot of things. But when you're spending time with people, spend time with those people. Be present. And when you're around new people and you're networking and, shaking hands and learning more about others, really engage. Don't just be there for the picture and leave and that's it, or for the social media moment, right? Everybody knows the plate eats first, right? But you got to remember, it's not always about your net worth, but it's about your network and being present. When you're spending time with your family, are you really spending time with them, or, are you planning things out to do, or are you just kind of going with the motions, right? So all of these things revolve around you becoming a better person, and really, when you find your purpose in life, using these tools will help you develop the skill set and the mindset that you need in order to be successful. No one's going to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself, and you're always going to get help. You always got a community. You always got people that you can go to, and you can Google search a lot of things too, but why do that? You can just ask somebody that's been through it as well. Get a personal connection with them, and really grow and develop yourself as a person. This is a short life that we live, so it's important that while we're here, we do everything we can to be great, so that's pretty much it, guys. I really hope this video brought some value to you guys and everybody that's watching this. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and comment what you thought was what you got away from this video, some value that you took away from this. It really helps me to create more content so I know what you guys are actually enjoying. And I look forward to making the next one for y'all. Until then, let's get it. Hope you have a great day.